Up next, we'll go to Essex Porter with Cairo. Go ahead, Essex.
Governor, when we heard from Republicans discussing their budget today, let me paraphrase what they were saying. Representative Stokesbury said that because education is a paramount duty of the state, that you as governor have the constitutional authority and the duty to order schools to reopen. Why not act more affirmatively under that authority instead of asking for volunteers?
Well, I believe that the good legislator is incorrect in his assessment, fundamentally. I know that's a rare event to say that, but it is the case. I'm quite sure if you ask constitutional experts, they'll reach a different conclusion in our state. There are other states that have constitutions and laws that do allow, in some sense, governors to take that action. So fundamentally, that's the reason. Now, there are some things that appropriately, we can try to incentivize folks to go back to in-school instruction. That's what we're doing today, talking about this issue, to provide incentives in this regard. And that is what we're doing.
All right, we've got time for a couple more. Up next, we'll go to Jerry Cornfield with the Everett Herald. Go ahead, Jerry.
By the way, I really appreciate it when the Republicans give me more authority than the state constitution allows. I find that an encouraging trend. I hope that it will continue.
All right, go ahead, Jerry.
Governor, I'd like to go back to your conversation about the transportation package. You laid out some of the elements. I guess I'm wondering first if are you and your team putting together a package to put up with the Senate and House that are out there, or are you working off of the two packages from the House and Senate transportation chairs to come to a agreement? I wonder if you could talk a little bit about the process and what amount of money do you think is sort of the round figure you think needs to be the target?
So I have taken a strategic role of helping these parties develop this package rather than directing a particular either number or project list. I have found that can be the most productive way to advance the ball here. So I'm talking to legislators to get them to work with each other to develop a project list and potential ways to finance them. And I just had a discussion with Jake Fye today, who's done a fantastic job. He's listened to, 100 people on how to develop this package. He's not the only person who's working hard on this. Chair Hobbs has a package he's working on. So my role is to get these folks to work together, and I'm hopeful that that succeeds.
All right, up next, we'll go to Keith Eldridge. Go ahead, Keith.
Governor, you're moving ahead with education. How about phase 3? Have you decided when phase 3 is going to start and what it's going to look like?
We have not identified that. We just put the finishing touches on phase 2. So no, we have not identified our next steps. I think that we will be looking at the science in the next immediate future as it develops, both as to how prevalent the new variants are, how the current favorable conditions are continuing over the next several weeks, whether they continue to develop, and we've been very pleased with the declining numbers, as you know. We also want to see some science on the effectiveness of the vaccines against these new variants. That science is very rapidly developing. There's some good news and some troubling news on that front. And so we're going to need to look at some of those things to figure out the next stage of this. But again, I'm very pleased that we've been able to have more business activity. By the way, that's not the only solution. We want to provide and have, through the bill we just completed, to help these businesses financially while we continue to move to more normalized growth.